5 things. Number 1, we undertook the housing program, not just to have decent living conditions and housing for our citizens, but also as a means of creating opportunities for work. As you all know, it was one of the most difficult things to do, because it involved, a framework where we had to contribute. And so, if you read in the Azimio Manifesto, there was housing. In the Kenya Kwanza Manifesto, there was housing. But when it came to the implementation, there was a big problem. Nobody wanted to do it. And we were taken to court, or demonstrations, and many other things. But we stood our ground. And today, I stand before you to tell you the skyline of Kenya is changing. Go to anywhere in Kenya, from Busia, I was there last week, to Kisumu, to Migori, to Kuria, Kericho, Eldoret, Kitui. I was in Makueni. In fact, in Makueni, the senator of Makueni, who has been saying nothing is happening. So when I went with him to the housing, he was shocked that it was in Wote. And not just that, we have 640,000 young people working. Architects, engineers, plumbers, electricians, carpenters, masons, and everybody in between. In fact, at some point, the debate was, William Ruto is talking about Mjengo. Can his children go and work at the Mjengo? But good people, explain to me, which is the workplace of the architect, and the engineer, and the mason, and the carpenter? So if you go to university to learn engineering, civil engineering, electrical engineering, and all the other engineerings, mechanical engineering, and architects, the only place you will make meaning with what you have learned is Mjengo. There is no other place. If there is no Mjengo, you are useless. It's just as simple as that. Yesterday, I was in Thika. In Thika, in Kiambu alone, we are building 18,000 housing units at a cost of 45 billion in one county. There has never been an investment of 45 billion in one project in any county in Kenya. So we are changing. Today, the contracts we have signed on using the housing fund are contracts of 640 billion across Kenya. Markets, hostels for our university, TVET and KMTC students, housing. I just handed over houses in Kapsabet. I handed over houses in Kakamega. I will be handing over houses in Kirinyaga. There are some that are ready in Ruiru. And that process will be continuing. The most fundamental thing to me is that by next year, we will have 1 million young people working in our housing program. Real people working. We also designed because we are a very tech-savvy country. So we designed a program around digital jobs and business process outsourcing. And today, in our ICT hubs, in our G2 centers, in business process outsourcing, companies that are registered here in Kenya, and there are many. In fact, the largest business process outsourcing company in the world, called Teleperformer, just shifted to Kenya. So we have close to 300,000 people working now in that space. I remember when we were at the conference this week, one American company, ADEC, will be setting up a 2,000 person capacity in Machakos County as part of the expansion of that footprint. And many more are stepping in because our human capital is good. We speak probably some of the best English anywhere in the world. But do we say? And on and on and on. So our projection is that we should be able to appropriate at least 1 million young people working in our digital jobs space in the next between 1 and 2 years. We are extending the fiber optic because it's going to be a very important tool for that exercise around the country. We've already done 30,000 kilometers. Our plan is to have 100,000 kilometers so that business process outsourcing can be set up anywhere in Kenya. It doesn't have to be Nairobi. It doesn't have to be around Nairobi. We should be able to do that in many parts of our country. We also decided that because we have some of the best human capital in the world, that we use it as part of our export. And that is why Rosalind here has been working with me to clean up the channel for accessing jobs overseas. We had to clean up the system because we had too many brokers. We had many recruiting agencies that were crooked and defrauded many people of their money. So we have registered close to 1,000 of those companies. So we have made it leaner, and we are still reorganizing that space. But just with what we have done, including cutting down on time to access travel papers, including passports and what have you, today we have a clean channel for people who have employment opportunities abroad. Rosalind, it takes now how many days to get a passport if I have a job abroad? 2 days. That's how long it takes, between 2 and 3 days. And as a result, mark this, as a result of what we have done in the last 3 years, 540,000 Kenyans have gotten jobs abroad, and our remittance from abroad has increased by $1 billion. Yes. So, and I can go on, but that's the space we are working with the young people of Kenya, including what we are doing to access to credit, the big program we have around Nyota, which is going to benefit close to 820,000 young people with skills, with startup resources. And this is all to make our country competitive. One more thing I need to tell you is to be able to reorganize our economy. Economists will tell us, those who went to school and read economics. I did not. So it's on the basis of the information I get from them, is that investment is a function of savings. You cannot invest what you don't have. And so we decided that we need to create a bigger pool of resources through savings, especially mandatory savings. And our National Social Security Fund, which is the public savings entity, was not properly aligned. And we did this with President Uhuru in 2015, I think. But there was a lot of manenos and things. But of course, when I came into office, I said, this is one area I must correct. We did implement the changes that were necessary. Today, our country is making strides. Just for comparison, most OECD countries, their savings as a percentage of GDP is anywhere around 40–45%. China being among the highest is around 55%. Kenya is at 12%. That's how much we save. Means whatever we get, we go to the restaurant, we go to the clothes store, and it's all done. So we changed the contribution structure, and in just 2 years, we have doubled what was saved at our Social Security for 60 years. What was saved for 60 years, we have doubled in 2 years. From 312 billion shillings in 2023, in 2025, we are at 670 billion. By next year, we will be at 1 trillion. In 5 years, in 10 years, we will not be borrowing from other places. We will be building this nation using our own savings and resources. That has earned me a few enemies, but many friends. But that is the progress we are making in our nation. And we will continue. We will continue to stay focused until we redeem every commitment we made in our manifesto to the people of Kenya, so that we can demonstrate that what leaders say they must do. Having said that, it is my expectation that the good people, because you are our face, you are our ambassadors, you are our front line, citizens, wherever it is that you are, on matters diaspora, and given the immense opportunities being created through what I've just discussed, and working closely with the State Department of Diaspora Affairs, you should give it focus with a view to expanding new markets or expanding into new markets and new territories. At the same time, I expect the bilateral frameworks governing the employment of our citizens abroad to be strong, enforceable, and genuinely protective of their rights and their dignity. The third issue, after I have said what the situation looks like, so that you are properly briefed and seized of where we are. The third issue is that where we are today is a good place, but it is not the destination where we should be. We should look further. And we have identified 3 areas that are important for us to focus on as we seek to lift our country to a first world status. And when I say lift our country to a first world status, it's not a statement. It is something that we must and should actualize, because it's possible for us to get this country to where it is, to where we should have it, rather. We have the intention, and the PS said here, that we want to make Nairobi the hub, the diplomatic hub of the world, and the commercial hub of our region. But that requires us to do some work. First, we have undertaken that we have to improve our transport and logistics infrastructure. All of you flew in from different parts of the world. You know very well, we do not have a proper airport. It is true, right? And the building of a new airport terminal has been in the works, at least as far as I remember, the last 15 years. But I just want to give you the good news that we have now the template, we have the framework, and we have already gone to tender so that we can build a new, modern airport for ourselves in Nairobi and subsequently in other parts of the country. We have to improve infrastructure around the country. As we build the Rironi-Mau Summit standard gauge, dual carriageway, before it gets to Mau Summit in April, May next year, we will have hopefully contracted the link from Mau Summit to Malaba, and we will have undertaken other transport corridors. The intention and the plan here is to do 2,500 kilometers of new dual carriageway in Kenya in the last 7 to 10 years, and to double our paved road. From independence to now, we have paved 20,000 kilometers of road or tarmac 20,000. That is in 60 years. In 60 years, Japan tarmacked 1 million kilometers. I think there is some difference between 20,000 and 1 million. I don't know how, whether it is small or a big difference. So, what do we want to do? We want to tarmac another 28,000 kilometers in Kenya in the next 10 years. And it's possible, and we're going to do it. If you go to any meeting in Kenya, somebody will ask you about a road. Anywhere. This road, and that road, and the other road, and the other road. We just have to do it. We cannot do it piecemeal. We cannot continue discussing 10 kilometers here, 20 kilometers there, 50 kilometers somewhere. We just have to have a comprehensive plan and do it, and have a plan and do it. So, and we need to sort out the port of Mombasa. We need to sort out all the other port infrastructure. That will require about between maybe 10 and 12 billion dollars. It's about 1.5 trillion or thereabout. So, but we're going to look for that money somehow. We will find it and do it. As we do that, you know, we have also to put up the facilities that can host people who want to come to Kenya. You know very well that the last serious conference facility that was done is Kenyatta International Conference Center, right? And it was started with the Harambee. The first meeting was to have a fundraising by some good Kenyans. But somehow, they managed to build it. It has served us well, but it cannot serve us going forward. And that is why we are building the Bomas of Kenya, which will be ready, by the way, in May. May this year. May this year. Yes. And with it, we have encouraged the private sector, and they've come through to do 3 big hotels, at least with a total bed capacity of 1,500 beds. You know, in Nairobi now, this is the biggest hotel facility we have. Just imagine this one. This space here where other people are standing, ndio wale wamesimama huko. We need to be serious, honestly. So, we need some real investment in hospitality industry in the country. And we are encouraging more people to come on board, and I'm very confident about the future. Whenever we have guests in Nairobi, you know, I have serious problems where to put them. Kempinski has become a small place. Interpond was shut down. The other place, Crown Uko, was shut down. And the other place. So, why? Because we didn't build the conference facility infrastructure that would help support our hotel industry. And that is why, as diplomats, now that we will have a modern conference facility in Kenya, all those meetings that are being held in all those other places should be held in Nairobi. And we are banking on you to work with us so that we can redirect serious major conference facility to our country. We will be hosting the French Africa Summit here for the first time in Nairobi. And we have so many conference facilities lined up. It's very interesting that even before the conference facility in Bomas is ready, there is a long queue of people who want to use that facility. Number two, and then of course, before I finish that, we need to sort out this city. My last meeting last evening was about the city of Nairobi and what we need to do in terms of cleaning it, lighting Nairobi. Nairobi is very dark. Cleaning tilling the place. We are the environmental capital of the world with UNEP here and Habitat.